It is. I still think we use a lot of what we did last year, to make our kids get better. We move spring ball to the fall. And, we use those 15 practices to really, incorporate our offense and defense and the things that we're trying to teach our kids, to do on a daily basis of, watching film and understanding not only their position, but everybody else's position as well and what they're doing, the whole scheme, of the offense and the defense. And I think, when we got to the spring and kind of use those fall, those championship days that we were able to use. And we used every bit of them just to make sure that, our kids were on the same page as we were and understand what we were doing offensively and defensively. But now that time's gone, right? It was a little more relaxed then, not as intense. Coaches were a little bit more relaxed. The players will tell you that as well. Now we've amped up our attitudes a little bit and kind of the way we coach things. But I think our kids are the same way. They know it's time and they know it's here. We're less than a week away, and this is a big first game. And a lot rides on this first game, but it's not going to be our complete season. But still, a lot rides on this game. Really, I think that our kids, what they did this summer was a huge benefit, for them and our whole program. I felt like they came in shape. I thought they were excited and more energized, because they did miss a year of it, and when it's gone, it's gone. And I thought this was one of the better camps that we've had, since I've been here, just with, our guys being locked in and focused. And, there were some hot days in there as well, but they stayed in tune and worked their tails off day in and day out. I think the speed was still there for us. I don't think the guys lost a beat there just because of the stuff they did do in the third with the 7-on-7s and the O-line doing their drills and D-line as well. I think they stayed pretty in tune with what they're supposed to do and the task at hand and what their future was going to hold. Anyway, they want to have a great season, and they did the things that they needed to do to hopefully make this a great season. I learned that camp's hard. I didn't really know when you take a year off of camp and then obviously you get back for 14 days and it's 6:30 in the morning till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. You didn't realize how tough that truly was. And, I think our players, saw that as well. But, just don't take anything for granted because, you just never know when it's going to be taken away from you. And, it got taken away from us last year. And, but we just had to learn how to, lean on one another. And I thought it brought us closer as a team. I thought our kids learned a lot more about the game of football, as well, not just at their position, but the whole scheme of, what we're trying to accomplish offensively and defensively, I think is the big part of it. I believe our relationship's gotten better because it was a different time, and just the Zoom meetings itself was different. But just being around our kids and being there for them, supporting them, and them for us as well. We had to use them a little bit too, just to get our as coaches get our minds right, and they were there for us as well. So I think it's just the camaraderie that we built, throughout this whole 18 months, has brought us closer together. And, we love one another, and we're going to play hard for one another, and you can't ask for more than that. We just doing things different than I normally don't do. The spring helped us out, because we were able to scrimmage a few teams and, get out there and do some live tackling as well. But then even camp this year, I usually don't live tackle. I usually don't have scrimmages where we tackle as well, but we did that, this year, and I think it helped our kids out. We've done some different drills in practice, itself that whether it was tackling drills or whether it was, one-on-one, O-line, D-line blocking, but we tried to bring that physicality back, and just do controlled drills, things that we could make sure that the kids weren't going to get hurt and they were using the proper techniques. But I think our physicality will be there. We live on that. We thrive on that. That's how we play. That's what we preach to our kids as coaches. And, I think they feel the same way. They want to be the most physical team on the football field. We'll find out. They're young, but I think it's a very talented group. A lot of them don't have a lot of playing time, but they've been here long enough that they understand what we're doing, defensively as well. I feel like we got great coaching staffs that are going to get those kids ready. We do have some good leaders on that side of the ball as well. We got Javaris, on the D-line, leading those guys, and wide as well. We got Lake, leading those guys with, Minges, who's never played, in our program yet. That's, going to be right beside him. And, we got Starks in the secondary and Jaiman in the secondary. So we do have some older guys there that have that leadership quality, the leadership that they need, in those areas. And but it's good we have it at each position, not just at one position where they'll have those guys ready and they'll have them locked and loaded and they'll have their minds right. And, those kids are going to play hard on Saturday. Will they make some mistakes? Yeah. Everybody's going to make mistakes. This Thursday, I guess Thursday coming up, it's going to be, it's going to be interesting. When the lights come on, hopefully our lights come on too and we're ready to play. And but it will be, there's going to be some anxiety. There's going to be some, mistakes that are made, but we just got to overcome those mistakes and play hard every single play. And I think that every year we played, because we always had Central Missouri as well, the first game of the year, which is a huge game too. So it seems like every year that I've been here, it's always been that first one's a huge one, whether it was Central or whether it was Northwest. Those are big games that that we have to go out there and play our best. And everybody and they're thinking the same thing. They got to be at their best as well. So game one, it's gonna be two teams. There's no warming up games and trying to get yourself ready for the next one. This is one that you have to be prepared for, and we can't make them a lot of mistakes offensively or defensively. Got to get some turnovers on defense, not turn the ball over on offense, and have some big plays on offense. Get some good sacks on the quarterback, and stop the run game as well. So it'll be a very interesting one. They're all big, but this is a huge one because the last 3 years. Well, 2017, 18, 19, it kind of came down to this game. Who's going to be conference champ, and it's just now it's at the beginning of the season, but who knows? You still got 10 more after that can determine a lot through the season. It's 2 1-point games there and a 3-point game here and double overtime, I believe. So it is interesting. I don't know, maybe from the road you're a little bit more focused, but I think our kids, have really locked in right now, and we want to change that. The home team needs to win here in this game, and our kids are doing the things that they need to do to hopefully win this ball game. The crazy thing is, they have some new players that we probably don't know much about, and they have a new offensive coordinator that, I think they'll probably run the similar things that they've had in the past, but he's actually got a whole year, to work on his stuff. And then defensively, Coach Wright's still a defensive coordinator, still their head coach, and they're going to do what they do defensively. But it's just our kids being focused and locked in and getting the things done that we need to do to win this ball game. But it's going to be big and it's huge. I try not to. I don't think I have. The kids will probably tell you I've gotten a little bit softer than I have in my younger days. But I think that just comes with age. You kind of tend to do things a little bit different. Learn from your mistakes, learn from the things that you've done wrong in the past, and just try to keep them motivated, as well. But it was taking it away. But as it gets closer, my anxiety gets a little bit higher. My adrenaline starts to flow a little bit faster, and I get a little bit more excited in practice than I probably normally do a little bit, and just making sure our kids are ready and focused and locked in, and getting them ready for week one. And it's a big week one. There's going to be a lot of fans in the stands, and they'll be cheering you on, and we got to make sure that we do things right. And it's been that whole year off been kind of different because we were a little bit more relaxed. Relaxed time's over. It's game time now, and this is the real deal. And we got to go out there and make a name for ourselves.
Too emotional?
Yeah, it's just being able to control it, right? But, having that emotion, playing with energy, playing with excitement, but it's got to be controlled. Some kids get too excited and they lose their minds and forget what they were supposed to do. But it's controlling that. But you still got to have that energy. And there's going to be a lot. On September 2nd, on both sides. Their team's going to be very excited. We're going to be very excited, and I think it's going to be the team that controls it the most, and and stays locked in and focused. Because the start of this game, is going to be a huge part of really how this game goes. I've seen improvement all across the board. With our team, I feel like our old line's really improved. As this camp has gone on. I think our receiving corps has really improved as this camp's gone on. Our quarterbacks have gotten better. There's great competition. And I think our running backs have done very well, through this whole thing. So there's not really one guy I can really choose because I think they've all improved tremendously. And then defensively the same way. I think our linebackers have really improved, from last year to this year with just their reads, their fits, in the run game, getting in their pass drops as well. The young secondary has really improved in understanding what they need to do and how they fit, in our system and in our scheme with whatever coverage it might be, and in our D line, a lot of new faces there. But those guys, this kind of giving these guys a year to figure out what we're doing defensively. I can't really pick out one person, but I think as a whole, this whole group has improved tremendously, and I'm anxious to see them, on Thursday to see what these guys got because I know they're going to perform at a high level. They're going to do some great things, and they're going to play hard for one another, and that's what I'm excited about.